Now we're getting to the fun part of this project, which I think it's fun, is that we're going to animate the block. So we're gonna bring in the block, and we're gonna make the parts of the puzzle come together by twisting and moving in to form the block puzzle. It's kind of like Tetris, where each part's going to rotate once and then move linearly into position, and then the next part will rotate and move into position. And when we're done, we'll start with the block with all the parts away, and then we'll have the blocks come in together to form the puzzle. It's pretty neat. All right, to do that, we're going to have we're going to check our project folder, make sure we're in block. We are. So let's do a new file, and we're going to be doing a standard IPN. That stands for Inventor Presentation file. So we'll create that new file. It looks different than all the other ones, but you recognize this create view from the IDW. And we're going to create view, and the view we're going to create is from our block project. So we're going to open up our puzzle, the completed puzzle that has all the different parts in it. Puzzle.iam is what it should be called. And we're going to bring that into our view. Now you'll notice that on this puzzle we have all the pieces, and the pieces are color coded because when we did the puzzle, we colored the different puzzle pieces. Even if they didn't get colored, we could color them by going in over here to our puzzle where it says explosion, and we could select these various assemblies. For example, let's see, right here is this one. If I want to change the color of that, I can right click it, and actually if we want to have to do each individual block. So by holding the control key down or the shift key and selecting all those blocks, then I can change these colors by coming up here and changing it to what I'd like it to be. Let's make it orange. There you go. So you could change the colors in your block if you wanted to, but they should already have the colors that you selected. Okay, so let's move some parts. So we're going to start with this orange part that we made right here. This is assembly 4. And to do it, we're going to come up here to where it says tweak components. So we're going to select it, and we're going to put a direction bar on the block. And it doesn't really matter where it is. So I placed it right here, and you can see it's got the 3 principal directions. In this case, X is that way, Y is this way, and Z is up and down. I want to move this puzzle piece in a way that it does not interfere with any of the other pieces. So some of the options, I can certainly move it up, but I can't move it down. If I moved it down, it would interfere with these pieces here. I can move it out to the left along the x-axis, but I can't move it to the right because of this piece right here. Do you understand? So you need to move your piece in a way that it's not going to run into other pieces. So I like the z-axis. That's what's selected. I'm going to move it up. So I've selected my part, and now I'm simply going to type in a distance. Well, these are 3/4 inch blocks. So 3/4, 3/4, 1.5. This whole block is about 2.25 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this 3.5. I'll type in 3.5 inches in the positive direction, and I'm going to click on the green check mark. And you can see what happens is that piece moves up that distance. Okay? Well, now I'm going to clear the selection, and I'm going to clear that. I'm going to clear that particular selection, and now I'm going to select the next part. So let's go to assembly. Well, let's put our direction indicator right here. Now notice that it's a little bit different. Now Z's in and out, X is up and down. It doesn't really matter. What matters is that we select the proper axis for moving the part. So I'm going to select, let's see, which one is that? That is part number 5. So I've selected part 5. There's the Z direction. I want to go positive along the way the arrow is moving. If I was going to go the other way, I'd put a negative in front of it. And we'll do that in a minute. But right now, we're going in the positive Z direction, and we're going to type in 3.5. Voila. You'll notice over here that this display trails is turned off. I'm going to make a mistake and leave it on and show you what it does. It's not very pretty. So let's go ahead and clear the selection. Let's put on the trails. Let's put on our indicator. And now we've got the Z direction going this way. I want to go down. Down is along what's called the x-axis now. And you see how it changes depending on where you're putting it. I want this part to move. So there it is. It's assembly number 3. It's still positive. I'm going to put 3 here for this. And we're going to go hit the check mark. Now watch what happens when I display the trails. Do you see that? It shows this blue line that shows where that part's going. I don't like that because it gets really, really messy. So we're going to go back. We'll close it. We're going to go back and undo that. And then we're going to do it again. Tweak component. Put it right here. I want to go down. All right, you see how it's the positive z-axis now? So I want to go down -3. I'm going in the opposite direction of the arrow, down. That's the z-axis. Hit the check. Oh, got to select the assembly. There it is, 3. Select the component you want, and then hit the check mark. And I forgot to do the display. All right, let me go back one more time. Tweak component, turn off display trails. Make sure I've got my direction set here. I want -3, and I want it to be the 3rd assembly. There we go. Clear? I'm now going to work on this one here. I want to go to the left. So that's the z direction. It's going to be -3 again. -3. I need to make sure they're selected. Let's see, that is assembly 1. Hit the green check mark. There it goes. And this one, if I want this one to be first, I'm going to have it come from the bottom. So I'm going to clear it. I'm going to set my direction here. Again, it's going to be in the z direction. It's going to be negative. It's assembly 2. It's going to go down -3. There it is. Whoop. Am I touching there? No, I'm okay. That works. It's not super clean, but it's good enough for demonstration purposes. All right, so now that we've got our parts, we're going to close this. And what we have is we have our parts lined up the way we want them to be, and we're going to go ahead and do our animation. So we'll click on Animate here. And if I just play it, let's watch what happens. Notice that it plays the last thing I did first. So there we go. It went up. That's going over. That's going up. And that is so cool. There we go. It's a little slow for my taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reset it. Come on, I want to reset that. I want to change my, I could have just pressed reset. There you go. I'm going to change the interval to a smaller number. Let's say 10. And now when I apply it and play it again, watch what happens. It's going to go faster. See that? I can reset it. And let's just change this to a 2. And watch how fast it goes. Whoop. There we go. Okay, so you can play with that. Let's reset. Now, we're not quite done, because Tetris doesn't just come in straight, right? You're able to rotate the parts. So what we're going to do now to each part is we're going to rotate it. So I'm going to cancel this, and now we're going to go back to Tweak Component, and I'm going to put my cursor on an edge, and I'm going to rotate around the z-axis. So what I'm going to do here is that my components, I'm going to select, that's assembly 4. You notice when I put the cursor over here, it lights up and highlights the part. So it's assembly 4. I want to do a rotation around the z-axis. And here is what this number is going to be is degrees. So for example, one revolution is 360. So we'll do 360 degree rotation. And I'll go ahead and check that. Now, you're not going to see anything because it's with a 360 degree rotation, it starts where it stops. So it's not going to show you a preview. I'm going to go ahead and clear it. And I'm going to go on to my next one. Now I'm going to do this one around this axis right here. That z-axis. I'm going to do, make sure I select the part. There it is. And I'm going to do, let's do 180 degrees. 180 degrees. Now watch what happens. Do you see that? It rotated 180 degrees. That's where it's going to start. because it's going to flip down into place once it gets to that rotation. So you would do that with all 5 parts, clearing it, and I'm not going to do it with all 5. You can do yours, all 5 parts. Now, when you run your animation, watch what happens. I'm going to change this to 10. Now I'll change it to 5. Okay, hit apply. And now, watch what happens. It's going backwards. It went in the reverse order. But that's not how Tetris works either, is it? Tetris works by rotation and then translation of your parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the sequence and look at what the assemblies are doing. And we're going to move it so that the first thing that happens to a part is it rotates and then it translates. Now, we know that the first rotation, if I go ahead and play this, I can see that that part right there is the first rotation. But let's go ahead and reset it. So what we want to do is we want to find out where the translation is and then move it to the second position. So for example, if I play this, the rotation of this assembly is number 1. Okay? So I can see right there is assembly 1-1. It's doing a tweak of 180 degrees. I come down here and I can see my other assembly right here. Assembly 1-1 is tweaking 3 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that tweak and I'm going to move it up until it's in the second position. This one is the one that we rotated first. That was this one here, assembly 4-1. We want its tweak, its linear tweak, to be in the next position. Here is the linear tweak of that. We're going to move it up so that now we've got assembly 1 rotating and translating, then assembly 2 rotating and translating. We're going to go ahead and do that. We'll apply it. And now watch what happens when I play. Rotation, translation, rotation, translation. And then you would go through and do the rest of these, rotation, translation, making sure that none of the parts intersect each other. Now, I saw an error in mine. I saw an error. Look right here. You'll notice when mine's rotating and translating, this part is going to go up through there. See that? That's not good. You'll get points taken off if you do that. So what I want you to do for yours, I want you to make it like Tetris. Follow the principles I've shown you here. You're going to make one part rotate and then move in position. Make the second part rotate, move it in position. When you're ready to go, you'll notice that this closes this dialog box here. When you're ready to go, what I want you to do is I want you to record it. Make sure it's on 5. I want you to record it. It's going to give you an option of where you want to save it. You're going to save it as your first initial last name. And you can call it block if you'd like. Block. It's going to be a Windows Media file, and save it into your documents under Inventor, block. That's where I want it saved. Save it. And it's going to go ahead and record it for you. Just keep the default setting. It's fine. No problem. Say OK. And then you're going to press play. And it's going to go ahead and record and do that animation. And it will save it. If you go into your file, go to your My Documents, you'll be able to see. And I hope you're seeing this on your screen. I don't know if it's showing or not. I hope it is. Under block, there is my E. Fisher block Windows Media file. And if I show that, it's right here. It's going to show me the animation. That's what I want to see. And you're going to upload that file in Moodle. Thank you so much. This completes the block puzzle project. I hope you had a good time with it. I hope you enjoyed it. I know you learned a lot. And you're going to apply all of these principles and all of these things you learned into the next project. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing your work.